was taught that zeros meant nothing, does it? How can zero mean nothing? If I put it next to a 1, I have 10. How did the zero mean nothing? Peace, power, and prosperity. Welcome to the year of the horse. I'm going to start by speaking on the horse, letting us know what the horses represent. Because you know the horse isn't any animal. The horses represent freedom. And that's why this year freedom is going to be most important. Yeah. A lot of us stepping into the horse stage of our lives where we need to be more freer than we have been. Free in thought, free in memory, free in our emotions. Yeah, freedom. We're going to go ahead and get us embodied. How you doing? Peace, power, and prosperity. We done made it. If you made it, go ahead and give yourself a hand of applause. You deserve it. You done made it. I say if you done made it, go ahead and give yourself a hand of applause. You done made it. Yes. Congratulations to us, because a lot of people ain't make it. I'm going to say that. I say that respectfully. I almost hesitated because I understand looking out into the world, I see it's a lot more unalivings happening by our governing participants. Yeah, it's a lot of unalivings happening, due to our governing participants, i.e. ICE, i.e. the DHS. Okay? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and congratulate ourselves for making it to today and being alive to today. Yeah, we're going to represent the freedom that others was asking for, that others been begging for a few decades at this point. Okay? Especially at this point, we now have the opportunity to be human. Okay? To ask for human treatment. A lot of people haven't realized a couple of our POWs, okay, all of our dark-skinned brothers, sisters, and allies, okay? Because I'm speaking for all of us, no matter where you stand from. A lot of us, we only been being treated or even considered human for possibly, I'm going to say 40, 50 years. Yeah, maybe 60 years. We talking about since about the 40s. Okay? So we're going to say about 60 years we've been treated like humans. 60 years we began to be treated like humans. Before that, we weren't even considered humans. When this civil war started between the left and the right. Okay, we wasn't even treated like humans, especially when somebody had walked onto our own terrains, okay, and sought to take away from us what our ancestors fought so diligently to gain. Yeah, so we're going to appreciate being human, and the biggest aspect of being human is your freedom and being free. Okay? Peace, power, and prosperity chat. Feel free to chime in. How you doing? Okay, we're gonna have we're gonna be doing a few episodes tonight. I'm growing. Okay, I'm gonna utilize my free will to the best of my ability. I'm growing. So I wanted to also grow on these days to be doing more than one show, so that way I can dive in to more than one topic. Y'all go ahead and let me know how that sound. Let me know how that sound. As you can see, I done labeled this Year the Horse, because this is Year the Horse. Let me go ahead and give me a metronome right. This one a little faster. Too fast. One more low. I want a little slower. A little slower. One more time. Give me that one. Give me that one. Y'all ready? That's all I needed. Line me up real quick. Y'all know I like mixing. Y'all know I like mixing them live, so let me go ahead and do what I do. While I listen to the music. You know, this one of my conjurings. I like to let people know making music is a conjuring, especially if you're a musician. If you're a musician, you've been conjuring spirits as long as you've been a musician. Notice how when you play a certain song, when you play a certain frequency, you indeed going to attract a certain type of being. Okay? Now, I done heard some people say, well, I listen to all types of music. I listen to the sounds. That's not true. Because there's certain type of music you don't listen to. If I go ahead and ask you, when the last time you heard some classical, if I go ahead and ask you, when the last time you heard some orchestra, if I ask you, who's your favorite composer? Or what's your favorite ensemble? Most people who say they just listen to all music won't know. Now, I do understand that, yes, there are some sounds we like to hear. I understand that. But if you listen to all sounds, there's also some sounds you don't want to hear, ain't it? Yeah. Why is that? Because when you listening to certain sounds played on a certain frequency, especially by original instruments or organic sounds made by organic instruments, real instruments, okay, you tend to always feel something. And if you do that, if you're a person that don't mind feeling, okay, then there's certain energies you don't want to feel. Okay? There's certain frequencies you wouldn't like to feel. Okay? Since we speaking on music. And And what better way to start the conversation than on music, right? I think so. Had a little mistakey right there. Yeah, this me mixing. I'm mixing them. I like lining up my notes, making sure things is right on key. It's the best part about making music. You start hearing it come together. You ever heard number sentences? If you heard me speak on numerology, then you heard number sentences from me. Hold on, let me make sure I get my whole shot. I gotta make sure I got Frederick Douglass in the shot. I see you, Freddie. Freddie, let me know if I'm lined up the correct way. If you know how to read number sentences, the stories the numbers been telling you, then those musical sentences gonna make a lot more sense. Okay? This year is 2026. Let's say it again. This year is 2026, the year of the horse. Okay? This year, a lot of things gonna begin again. Why? Because this year, you spiritually turning one again. Some of you are being born again. Welcome. Oh yeah, you stepped into that 1 year. And for those of us who do not know how we got to 1, we gonna say that 6 plus that 2 gave us that 8. And that other 2 gonna give us that 10. But this is a different type of 10. This ain't like the first one that you walked across. This is a different type of 1, I mean. This ain't like the first one that you walked across. Okay? That you made it past. When you first turned 1, you was alone. Okay? When you turn in 1 again, you are not alone. Okay? And if you are alone, it's pending your perspective and by your choice. Is it not? The first time you was 1, you may not have had a choice. And yes, you turned 1 many times in this lifetime. Okay? As I'm sure a lot of you aren't turning 10. And a lot of you aren't 1, but you still born again this year. How can this be? You see, because since time don't exist, spirit is on a whole nother realm of past, present, and future. The spirit exists in a timeless vortex. Okay? One that's always pulling you towards and granting you the present of the present. Okay? So as the world enters the 1 again, this is a different type of 1. Oh yeah. See, this type of 1, this type of 1 was giving us more power. You got a little more power with this one. I'm going to say it again. You got a little bit more power with this one. How we know that? That extra power represent that 0 that's standing next to you. You see, you was taught that zeros meant nothing, does it? How can 0 mean nothing? If I put it next to a 1, I have 10. How did the 0 mean nothing? No, the 0 means you done gained some power. Let that 0 represent that power. Don't it? Wouldn't you rather have a few more zeros behind that 1? I bet you would. No matter where you at. Financially in life. I'm pretty sure you would much more rather a few more zeros. So zeros don't represent nothing. That's where they first turn things upside down. Actually, zero represents everything. When you see a thing charging up, okay? When you see that circle filling up, when a circle filled up is fully charged. When a circle filled up, okay, we in abundance. When a circle filled up, okay, we have all that what we need. When that circle filled up. Oh man, I hope you can smell where I'm going. If you can't see where I'm going, if you don't know where I'm going, I'm gonna ask you to use your senses. As I play with these tunes. Yeah, this year the horse. You finna experience a different type of freedom this year. A lot of us ain't know that, well, we knew, but a lot of us didn't know that we would have the chance or the opportunity to experience a freedom like we're going to experience. I want us to first understand we have to experience this freedom. The same freedom that the horse represents. See, the horse was once one of the most freest animals on the earth. I want us to understand that. Come on now. I say the horse is one of the most freest animals on the earth. If you didn't know. It once galloped over its own land. Yup, to and fro, only eating the grasses it came across, only eating as much as it needed, and it had all the food that it needs. The horse didn't have to worry about what it was going to eat. It was free. The horses didn't have to worry about barriers and limitations on its own land. It was free. The horse didn't have to worry about who was stronger than it because it was even free from competition. It was free from worry. It didn't even have to worry about who is faster than those legs underneath it. It was even free from this. Okay? Until a shadow came along. Until a shadow came along and put the horse in a cage within its own mind. You see, once science figured out how to cage the horse, it utilized these same principles to cage all other beings on the earth. When you conquer the strong, you conquer them all. When you conquer the strong, you conquer them all. This is why I dare not bend to any to any idea of conquering me. Okay, because I understand what that do for my bloodline. I understand that I am the legacy. I understand that I am the generational curse breaker. Some of you are too. Some of you are here to break curses. Some of you are here to be the next generation, okay? Some of you are here to be legacy. And then some of you must accept the truth that the legacy need to end with you. Some of you don't need to some of you don't need to procreate. Okay? I do. I finna live for the strong. I finna live for freedom. I finna live for love. I finna live for music. Forever. I say forever. Nevertheless, A shadow came along one day and convinced the horse to walk itself, its own mind, into a cage. How do we do this, and what do I mean? I mean, the way you enslave a horse, the way you put a horse in bondage, okay, is first by taking it out of its natural elements and then taking it away from its natural ordinance in life, its natural roles in life. The male horse, the stud, is there to do a lot of different things than the female horse. Okay? He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. Okay? She's smaller, more agile, more flexible, more quick-witted. Okay? And those two together was unstoppable. So, to conquer these two beings, I got to put the male in a predicament where he can't be the biggest. I got to put the male in a predicament where he can't be the strongest. He can't be the provider. He can't be dependent on his own environment. I have to put the male in a predicament where he cannot be a male. And then after a while, he'll forget how to be a male. Okay? How could he teach his offspring how to be a male if he forgotten how to be a male? All I would have to do to the female horse is convince her to not respond to her female cues, to her motherly cues, thus removing her ability to mother and be a female horse. So first, removing them from the environment was first. Second, if they free enough to understand that this world is theirs, I had to create a matrix for them. Okay? Because can I really remove them off their environment? No matter where I take them, they shall adjust. If I take them to Africa, they become the zebra. They shall adjust wherever they are. Okay? I done took them to China and they become the dragon. No matter where I take this horse, it finna adjust. So I first have to convince the horse that it's somewhere it's never been. It's on a new terrain, where the rules are different, where the food is different, where the people are different. The animals are different. The ecosystem is different. Your place on the food chain is different. Now you are food. Okay? I want you to understand the making of a slave, an embodied man or woman, okay, was captured when they understood how to enslave the mind of a horse. You know, it's the reason why they power cars behind horsepower. It's the reason why they power trains behind horsepower. They didn't say, that's 400 dogs you running under. They didn't say, that's 400 elephants, the power that you pulling under your engine. We talking about to them V8s and V12s. They didn't say under that V12 you was pulling 500 plus elephant power, lion power. They said you was pulling horsepower. Horsepower. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Horsepower.